Welcome back for another round of box office predictions. If you've been keeping up with some videos I've been posting, you know that I do owe some Fantasy Movie League shout-outs right now, and wow, was I shocked and pleasantly surprised to see, one, how many people joined the Predictions with Perri League, and then two, how many people didn't just do well, but scored a perfect lineup. Here they all are. We have 22 total people that got the perfect lineup. Clearly, they had a little more faith in Super Troopers than I did. I'm lower down in the rankings right now because I didn't pick enough Super Troopers, but that movie was the big winner last weekend. Super Troopers' pretty big opening for that movie is what left me with a 3 out of 5 with my personal box office predictions on this video last weekend. So 3 for 5, A Quiet Place took the top spot with $20.9 million. Then it was Rampage right behind with $20.1 million. The third spot went to I Feel Pretty with $16 million. Then in came Super Troopers, which doubled my expectations and posted a very, very impressive $15.2 million. And then rounding out the top 5, we've got Truth or Dare with $7.8 million. It's a good thing that Super Troopers 2 opened so big last weekend, because I do think it's in for a pretty big hit this time around, and no pun intended on that one, but I do think that 420 might have given it a boost. I think that a lot of Super Troopers fans decided to see it weekend one, so keeping those two things in mind, and now looking at something that could be a comparable film, I have Horrible Bosses 2, another comedy sequel. That movie in weekend 2 dropped 45.5%, but that movie had a predecessor that opened much bigger than the first Super Troopers movie, and Horrible Bosses 2 is also packed with famous faces. So, keeping all that in mind now, I'm going to give Super Troopers a 55% weekend 2 drop, and that would leave it with another $7 million, which should be good enough for the number 5 spot, and is also an impressive amount when you consider the fact that $7 million was my weekend 1 prediction for this movie. Let's move on to my number 4 movie now, and that is where I have Rampage. This one could be in some trouble this weekend. Yeah, it has the A- cinema score, just like Pacific Rim. They both opened with similar amounts, but with Rampage, there is no doubt in my mind that Infinity War is going to take a lot of attention away from that one in its 3rd weekend out, which is leading me to take Pacific Rim's 52% weekend 3 drop, take it all the way up to 60%, and if it takes that big of a hit, it is only going to wrap weekend 3 with $8 million, and I think that's only going to be good enough for the number 4 spot, because I have this feeling that I Feel Pretty is going to be able to top it and come in at number 3. With I Feel Pretty, I'm looking at the movie Bad Moms Christmas, which is another STX female-led comedy. So they both opened with very similar amounts, and then Bad Moms Christmas only dropped 31% in its 2nd weekend out. Very small drop there, and considering the fact that I Feel Pretty has no new comedy competition, I do have a feeling it's going to wind up being a very good alternative to Infinity War this weekend. So let's say it drops maybe the same amount as Bad Moms Christmas. That means the movie is taking another $11 million. Now it's on to my number 2, and that is where I have A Quiet Place. Similarly with A Quiet Place, yeah, Infinity War is in the spotlight this weekend, but there isn't really any genre crossover there, and A Quiet Place still has some very good buzz. Looking at its week-to-week percent changes so far, weekend 2 dropped 34%. Weekend 3, it dropped 37%. So I would be shocked if that percent change came up to any more than 40%. And if it loses 40% of last weekend's profits, it's going to lock in that number 2 position with another $13 million. Now it's the time that you've all been waiting for. Obviously, Avengers Infinity War is my number 1 movie of the weekend. What everybody wants to know with this one is, will Avengers Infinity War wind up topping Star Wars The Force Awakens and posting the highest opening weekend total at the domestic box office ever in history? I've thought a lot about this, and I think I'm going with a yes on this, but only by a little bit. So obviously, Infinity War is a big deal for MCU fans. It's a huge 10-year culmination, so a lot of people are going to want to see this for that reason. It also has a couple of other things working in its favor that I think we should consider right now. For example, good reviews. It's getting a positive response right now. Also, there's been a lack of just monstrous blockbuster competition in the past month, so I think that's going to work in its favor as well. You also have to consider the urgency that many might feel to go see this movie so they can avoid spoilers. And then on top of that, really, Black Panther just paved the way to this movie in the best possible way for Infinity War. Black Panther is an exceptional film and really has just filled the past few months with so much MCU positivity that no doubt I think it served Infinity War well. And I also think some people might go back and see Black Panther again. I mean, to be honest, I kind of want to. So with all of that in mind, I am giving Avengers Infinity War the highest opening weekend at the domestic box office ever and pegging it with a $250 million start. Let's recap now. I have Avengers Infinity War coming in at number 1 with $250 million, followed by A Quiet Place with $13 million. Then at number 3, I've got I Feel Pretty with a solid $11 million. Rampage coming in at number 4 with $8 million, and then Super Troopers rounding out the top 5 with $7 million. All right, guys, those are my numbers and rankings. Now I leave it to you, especially this weekend, because 1, I do want to know your top 5, but really, most importantly, give me your Avengers Infinity War predictions. Is it going to top Force Awakens? Is it going to fall short? I'm very curious to hear what you think. And then, of course, go over to Fantasy Movie League and sign up for the Predictions with Perri League. I'm going to include the link to that and also the password in the description section of this video, so go check that out. Sign up and play. It's a ton of fun last week, and I'm really curious to see how well everybody does this time around. So thanks so much for watching this video. Please like and share, and I will see you next weekend for a new round of box office predictions and to check in to see how Avengers Infinity War did. See you soon, guys.